So I've been thinking, since I'm not going to be around forever to be doing these reviews, why not just inject myself into a computer now? No, I take it back. Let me out. Let me out. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. So glad to see you all once again. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by as well, because here is the show that you've been looking for. We go back and look at movies and TV shows that we grew up on in the 80s and 90s and review them, looking at them through the nostalgic eyes of today. And right now we're working our way through a series talking about Batman Beyond. So if this sounds like something you might enjoy, then hop below, hit the subscribe button, click the like button, because I think you're going to like today's episode as we're talking about Lost Souls, which originally aired on October 9th, 1999.
Work hard, save your money, and remember the customer is always right.
Okay, so I know the first two episodes of the second season haven't really caught my attention as much as I was hoping for, but I think this episode might be on the right track. So stay tuned to see where I rank this episode in my favorite episodes. But before I get into all that, I'm going to get the 60-second Beyond bomb up on the screen here, and I'm going to give you a complete synopsis of this episode in 60 seconds or less. Here we go. We start out in the past where a CEO his health is not doing so well, so he comes up with this way of infusing himself into the computer, and he's only awoken 35 years later when his grandson goes, I'm now in charge of the company. I don't know how to do this. And so he taps into the computer system and takes over the power grid, and he's wanting to take over the company, and Batman comes in to try to see what's going on with the power going all wonky, and he gets blasted by a laser, and that infuses his consciousness, the computer's consciousness, Lance's consciousness with the bat suit, and he goes, I think everything's okay. And then all of a sudden he locks up and walks out into the water. Bruce Wayne shuts him down, flies out there, rescues him, pulls him back, and he goes, we gotta reprogram the suit. And he goes, I gotta get out there and save him. Well, let's not do that. So he takes on the Batwing suit, because the suit gets up and walks off and takes on its own life and is powered through that, and he wants to take over the company. And then Terry flies in with the Nightwing mask and stops him and saves the day, and everything goes back to normal. Whew. That was a close one. And the kid also sells the company. I missed that part. It's close enough.
Please, Bobby. I've been cooped up in here a long time.
I was a little shocked to see Summer Gleason in this episode, but then realized they were talking from the past. And I thought it was a neat way of setting it up, because it was a little jarring at first, but then you go, okay, I see what they're doing there in the past, and without doing the 35 years ago. And we get back into it really well by introducing this character, what happened really quickly, puts himself in a computer. Okay, I'll buy into that. That's sci-fi stuff. And then we bring him back 35 years later. That didn't work out the way he wanted. Now his grandson is taking over, and he goes, hey, I need your help. Justifiable. And now he is set up to take over on his own, and he was using this time to gain knowledge and learn all the intricacies of things. And now technology has advanced, and so now what he couldn't have done 35 years ago is now coming into fruition now, because computers certainly now, as they will be in the future, are running a lot of things, including power and all these essential elements, and the Batcave apparently.
I gotta get to Mr. Wayne. His whole place is operated by computers. I'm worried.
And all this setup, which is buyable sci-fi elements, where the CEO puts himself into a computer and is trying to figure out a way to regain control of his company and doesn't want to just die off. All that is great and a really good setup. But it's really getting to the moment where he's able to take over the bat suit, which I like. I think that's a pretty neat element to this episode and to the story, and introduces what the problem is with having an electronic suit, is that it is susceptible to being controlled by an outside force or a internal computer voice source.
It's a loose fit, but I'm sure I'll grow into it.
And we get to see Terry having to rise to the challenge of not just relying on the suit, but having to fight for himself and fight on his own.
Is Batman just the suit, or is he the man inside?
But I feel like something that needs to be addressed at some point is what happens when they have to just shut down the suit and it locks up and can't do anything, like in the case where Terry's out in the middle of the water and Batman has to physically go out there and rescue him. Scary stuff.
You'll see.
Which also gives an opportunity to explore this story of, is Batman the man or the suit or the persona? And I think that that's a theme that has gone throughout all the iterations and all the generations of Batman, is that Batman being the person and Bruce Wayne being the persona that he puts on, but also Batman being a symbol, and certainly it being thought of as a element of fear to drive into criminals, that they just see the silhouette or see the bat signal or know that he's possibly going to come in there is enough to deter them, to derail them from the crime that they're trying to commit.
Time to find out.
And then we reintroduce that now with Batman Beyond of Bruce having to step down and somebody else take on the mantle, which again has happened before with Dick Grayson has taken over Batman, or Jean-Paul Valley, or any of these other iterations. But now we have Terry McGinnis, a totally different person that is putting on this Batman suit. And it's kind of a combined effort between Bruce Wayne and Terry to stop crime together through this, which also has been done before with Oracle, also being kind of the eyes and ears of Batman.
Then you better get going.
So all that is a recurring theme in Batman, and I love that they utilize that and took advantage of that opportunity within this story to delve even further into that idea, whether or not the suit is Batman or whether it's the heart or the person behind it, behind the mask, if you will.
I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work.
But they were so close to doing something that was going to get me really excited and didn't quite go all the way with that, is that once the Batman suit had kind of gone off on its own and was taken control by Vance, that Terry needs to go out and still needs to stop him, still needs to do this. And all he does is get the mask from Nightwing. And I was like, boy, what a great opportunity for him to just put on, and they acknowledge that he could have done that.
Most of them are pretty torn up.
And I thought, what a great opportunity for him to just put on a Batman suit or the Nightwing or Robin or any of those and go out just like the old days to stop some crime. They make reference to the old bridge that to get out of the Batcave, that the other Robins didn't mind that.
If you want out of the cave, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
But I thought, why didn't they get right up to the edge and they didn't go the rest of the way for him to just, he's Batman after all, put on the bat suit, the old bat suit. That would have been great fan service for them to do. And
Wrong answer.
so it felt very much like they deliberately made the choice not to do that and to just have him put on the mask. But I was kind of hoping to see Terry McGinnis wearing a full-on bat suit. That would have been cool.
I'm still going.
And I was really impressed. Maybe all this time that Terry has spent in the Batsuit, he learned some skills on his own, and he does pretty well. I mean, he does kind of miss with the Batarang and makes reference to that, so I think it could be assumed that the Batsuit was helping him aim his Batarangs and that.
Nice shot.
It's kind of a callback to the Hardak episodes, Heart of Steel, is that it? Steel, click up here to see it, where Batman has to face his cloned self. And this is kind of a similar element to that, but with a twist. But it was still just as exciting to see Batman fighting against his Batsuit and knowing what he's up against and knowing the tricks and trying to find a different way to stop him was really pretty cool.
That's because I'm going to be in charge again.
We've explored a lot of differences between Terry and Bruce Wayne, and yet again, another difference is I sense sometimes that Terry is not fully bought into this crime fighting lifestyle and is sort of being pushed along a little bit by Bruce Wayne. And certainly we see that in that final scene where Bruce is saying that Batman, the suit may be out of commission, but not Batman. But it also has this little undertone of a little bit threatening, like
It's only the suit that's out of commission, not Batman.
it should be up to Terry whether he continues to be Batman. He was just looking for a vacation. But a nice little reveal of some of the differences with them.
It's okay with me. I can use the rest.
So when it comes time to rank this episode, it was pretty good. I really kind of enjoyed this episode, and it had some neat elements in it. And I think it answers some of my previous questions of like, sci-fi is not meant to be scientifically accurate. And I think the closer to scientifically accurate that it gets, the better it gets. But I'm okay. I can buy into the idea of this guy putting his brain into a computer and then attaching himself to the Batsuit. I can buy into all that, and they spent the appropriate amount of time on that element of the story to keep going forward and get to the moment where we see Terry fighting himself, fighting the Batman suit. It's very cool, and I'm all on board for that. At the same time, it wasn't anything new or anything really inventive to push this too high up on the list. So for those reasons, I have this episode falling at the number 7 spot of my favorite episodes so far. I have this falling just below Rebirth because that is more of an original episode, certainly with the origin story and that they're telling that just bumps that one up just a little bit above this one. But I have it beating out Shriek, which is one of those episodes that I think is in comparison was not as strong of a villain as fighting a computer brain taking over the Batsuit. Potato to potato. So my question for you is, would you also have liked to see Terry jump into one of the Batsuits? And if so, which one would you like to see him don and fight crime in? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the like button. If you want to see more episodes like this, just hit subscribe. I have new episodes coming out every week, so you don't want to miss any of those. And next up, I'm going to be talking about the episode Hidden Agenda, so you don't want to miss that. As always, I'm Andy Knode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.